Today, we're going inside the walls of a high-security penal psychiatry unit. And our guide? One of its anonymous inhabitants, telling us his story, completely unfiltered.
And this quote, man, it just perfectly sets the stage for the world we are about to enter. It's a place where our narrator is convinced that what others call paranoia is, for him, just reality. So, let's dive in.
He calls the place Blacksite Berlin, and the tour he's about to give us isn't really of the building itself, but of the minds that are locked inside along with him. And he starts with the most infamous one of all.
All right, so here's the plan. We'll start by meeting the facility's most notorious resident. Then, we're going to survey the wider population, look at our narrator's absolutely scathing critique of the system itself, and finally, see how this strange version of life somehow manages to carry on inside. Okay, so our tour kicks off with a man the narrator calls the Cannibal of Neukölln, an inmate who he says is basically the benchmark for danger inside these walls.
Now, according to our guide, this isn't just general paranoia. No, it shows up in these really specific obsessive behaviors that make any kind of interaction with him feel like a game of Russian roulette.
Just try to imagine this for a second. This is his daily reality. His mind is just constantly at war with everything around him. Those little dark specks in his coffee? To him, that's cocaine. Someone just walking past his door? Nope, that's a conspirator. Every single mundane detail is twisted into a direct threat.
Our narrator says the letters were so incredibly graphic, and there were so many of them, that the guy he was sending them to, Assadin, just couldn't take it anymore. He stopped reading them and turned the whole stack over to the psychologists.
And this is where you really see the wild contrast between two different realities. On one side, you've got the narrator's raw, stomach-turning account of the crime, and on the other, you have the formal, almost clinical language of the legal system that put him away.
But here's the thing. The cannibal, he's not an outlier in here, not by a long shot. Our narrator introduces us to a whole cast of characters, and each one has their own violent, twisted history. Now, his story inside the facility, well, it takes a really grim turn, and our narrator presents it as a catastrophic failure of the institution itself.
The timeline of his final months is it's heartbreaking. After this long, brutal hunger strike, he finally agrees to eat. A huge food order is placed, but he dies of starvation just 2 days before it's supposed to arrive. For the narrator, this isn't just some tragedy, it's a fatal screw-up by the institution.
This guy is described as more than just ideologically dangerous. He's seen as a direct physical threat to every single person on the ward.
Think about the environment these guys are trapped in. You've got barred windows, locked doors. A fire is one of the absolute worst things that could happen. And according to our narrator, not only did this one inmate keep starting them, but the fire extinguishers were kept locked away where only the staff could get to them.
So, after painting this picture of a world filled with violence and delusion, the narrator turns his focus onto the very system that's supposed to manage it all. And believe me, he does not hold back.
You gotta ask, right? For our narrator, the answer is a resounding, unequivocal no. In his eyes, the entire profession is a complete and total fraud.
And this, right here, is the absolute core of his belief. He thinks talk therapy is fundamentally useless. He compares it to voodoo, to esoteric healing stones, basically to charlatanism.
His proof? He points to how diagnoses are so inconsistent that one patient can get 12 different ones in just 4 years. To him, that proves the entire foundation is built on sand.
So what does daily life actually look like in a place like this? Well, it's this surreal cocktail of boring routine, underground black markets, and just profound delusion. I mean, if you want one story that just sums it all up, listen to this. An inmate smashes 3 different TVs in a rage, and his unshakable explanation, to the staff, to our narrator, to anyone who would listen, was simple. The teddy bear did it.
So this number, 400 euros, it tells a story about a deal gone wrong. An inmate was trusted with this cash to go buy 2 Xboxes for his buddies. Instead, he blew it all in a single day at a brothel. It just goes to show you, even in here, trust and transactions exist. They just often end in predictable chaos. And this, right here, this shows you exactly how the informal, black market economy inside these walls actually works. A problem comes up. No Wi-Fi on new consoles.
But then, an opportunity appears. A patient getting released has an old one that still works. A deal is made, cash changes hands, and everybody gets what they need completely off the books.
And here's the real kicker. The entire account we've been walking through, this incredibly detailed story from inside Blacksite Berlin, was apparently written and sent out on that very same illicitly acquired Xbox. So, we've been guided through this landscape of madness by one single voice. But his own intense, unwavering worldview forces us to ask the big question. Is he a sane observer of all this chaos, or is he just another patient with a more elaborate, more convincing story?